Hey, what's going on, y'all? Chris here again. I have a few things I want to discuss with you as far as motivation, again, and how this week went. This past week was kind of rough for me. I had a couple of days I just didn't really feel like doing anything. Attention span and motivation work together hand in hand, as some of you may know. Of course, if dopamine levels are low, the specific dopamine that keeps you active, doing things and interested in something, work hand in hand with concentration. These past couple days, I should say maybe about 2 days this week, I just didn't really feel like doing a whole lot. Kind of feeling a little low. But please remember and understand, for some of you out there that suffer with depression, that may take Wellbutrin like I do, but not specifically for depression, but for ADHD and Vyvanse, you have to remember there are going to be some days where you just don't feel like it. It happens to neurotypical people. And this is not to minimize depression or, of course, in my case, ADHD. However, it's just to understand that there are going to be some days you're going to just, like normal people, and I don't want to say normal because it makes it sound like we're abnormal, but your neurotypical people are going to deal with the same things. A person that hasn't been diagnosed with ADHD or any kind of depression or anything for that matter, they're just going to have bad days. Sometimes they're just not going to feel like doing junk. It may be more days than they wish. The problem comes in though is when you have something that goes on that, of course, it debilitates you, totally throws you off, and it alters the course of your life. And that's where some of us may be. So it is something to be taken seriously. What drives me nuts is when people just minimize ADHD and say that it's a label, or depression is just a label. Because nobody says, well, cancer is just a label. Well, cancer is cancer. HIV is just a label. Those things are physical. And now we have something that's mental. No big deal. Not as important as the physical things, and it is very important because these things change your life. They alter your life. And again, I don't want to chalk it up to, well, I'm feeling down, so let me run to my doctor and just up the dose. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be dependent upon pills. And I didn't even want to take them in the first place, actually. I wanted to just kind of deal with this on my own. And like I said in a previous video, I think in my first or second video, my wife is the one that actually pushed me and encouraged me, I should say, to seek help. And it's been tremendous. She's always had my back. So, it's helped me. However, I don't want to be dependent on it where I'm continuously on the cycle of upping the dose. Because many of you know I've started last year sometime. I think it was last spring, around almost a year ago, maybe about 10 months or something like that. And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it doesn't work. I have noticed that maybe my tolerance level has increased. To say that I felt something, typically I know it works for me when I'm sitting down doing something and my concentration is intent on it. I don't feel the desire to do something else, and whatever I'm concentrating on is what I got to take care of. I don't care what's going on in the world. I have to take care of that and get that finished. But like I said, even with the medication and with Wellbutrin, 150 milligrams Wellbutrin, 50 milligrams Vyvanse, early this week I just wasn't feeling that great. And my friend moved away, moved back down to Florida. Kind of miss him. So you have to not just chalk it up to, well, I'm feeling bad again, or I'm not able to concentrate. It must be the medication isn't working. Sometimes it's just life. Things happen to people. You're not always going to be on cloud nine. Neither do you want to always be on cloud nine because it's not reality. Then maybe you're too high. You need to calm down. We have to experience life, and I don't want to be blunted from reality. I think that was the name of an album. I don't want to be disconnected from reality and disconnected from what's going on, where I don't feel, where I'm not allowed to even feel sad, or where I'm not allowed to be in touch with my real feelings. Yes, it's great to have something to help me, something to help us, that deal with these things, whether it's depression, ADHD, and/or. It is a tricky place, I guess. It's a fine line between, hey, this medication is helping me. This medication is doing wonders for my life. I've read comments, wonderful comments people have said about, grades, people have said about relationships, it's changing them, and that's a wonderful thing. However, you're going to experience ups and downs in spite of any medication. There's a fine line, I think, between using something and just being a straight up dependent crackhead or drughead because we have to use it because we need it to feel better. And that's the problem with some of the stimulants. They have a high tendency for abuse. So I just want to encourage you out there to understand that you're going to have ups and downs. Experience life. Deal with things. I have a whole list of things. You may see behind me, one of my speakers here, there's a blue, I don't know, I think it might be showing up. It's a blue post-it. On my other wall, there's a bunch of post-it notes. Even with the medication, I still need help. I have to write things down on my phone. I use Evernote. I use Notability and all these things, alarms, Things like my best friend. The iPhone is the best thing ever. But of course, it's not just having it there, it's staying on task because there's always something else trying to get my attention. And it's been incredibly helpful. But a couple days this week, I wasn't feeling 100%. So what? It's life. And things like that sometimes happen. But let's live it and not depend on medication to see us through every single up and down in life. I hope this has helped someone. And you guys have a great day. As usual, leave a comment or two. And I'll see you in the next video.